Well, when you get your land, there's always something to do. And that's whether or not you're on 10 acres like I am, or if you just have a backyard. Here in Texas, we have fire ant problems. And we're trying not to do anything that requires pesticides. We're trying to find sustainable solutions, that kind of thing. So we're not doing a deliberate organic resolution to this type of thing. It's just a lot of the things that we take for granted today are not necessarily sustainable. So we want to get rid of fire ants. The way to do that without hurting the ground, and the most sustainable method, is by boiling some water. They're fire ants, but they do not like heat. So we're going to let this Dutch oven heat up over our little makeshift stove here. We have a little burn pile in the back, which I've brought some of the wood over. So we'll be disposing of some of this stuff. We have a garden hose hooked up over here. And we have a fire within close proximity of the ant bed. So all in all, it's a pretty quick, easy solution for a problem. And I'll show you what happens in just a little bit once the water starts boiling. Alright, so jump down here. So here we are, we got it going at a boil. Gloves are very important for this. Really easy. Just take it over here, pour the boiling water on the ant bed. I got about half of it, so we're going to fill it back up and start again. That's a new garden hose and a new Dutch oven. So you saw those suds. So we're to solve the several problems right now. Getting the Dutch oven cleaned out, getting the hose cleaned out, and getting the fire ants cleaned out. There we go. Got it back on the fire. Get the fire a little more fuel. Start it over again. Okay, and something else I want to show you. If you remember in my earlier videos back in 2012, I did some seed saving, particularly black Valentine beans, and I kept those in a freezer. And now I've placed them out here in the ground. This is last Saturday, today's Saturday, so this is a week. And these guys are bush beans, but they're starting to come up, covered with a little grass mulch. Seems I have plenty of grass. And over here on this side, I have some speckled lima beans, but I haven't seen them turning out as well yet. But hopefully they will, because they are a vining bean. And I've made a little cattle panel arbor here. So if those lima beans come up, then they should grow up over the arbor, make it real easy to pick them. And then these guys should come up this side, since they're a bush bean. And black Valentines are really good for a green bean, and then if you let them go to seed, then you'll get a nice black bean out of it. So there's a little preview of what may be to come Again, I'm not too sure about the limas. They're supposed to have a 5 to 7 day germination period. So if I don't see something coming of them, probably by next weekend, I'll consider them dead and I'll put something else in over there in their place. All right, so we got another pot on the fire for the fire ant bed, and we'll talk to you again in a few. All right, so I'm going to try to show you something here. Right here, you can see the white things. Those are eggs. I'm not sure if you can see it. I hope so. These little shiny red things, those are dead ants. You can see maybe a little pile of the ants here. Basically, what that's showing you is that you can obviously see ants crawling around, but over here you can see more of the little bodies and eggs. Basically what that's showing you is that there's still ants alive in the colony. They're working their best to clean the colony out and reestablish. So as long as you see that there's more activity like that going on, where they're cleaning it out, that means that you need to continue to boil them out. Now, some people might be asking why we're choosing to boil. Again, I don't want to use more chemicals than necessary. I also want to have a sustainable situation. Some people have talked about cornmeal and borax and other things, and we've tried a variety of methods of getting rid of the fire ants, and so far this is the one that seems to be the most direct impact. Definitely the fastest. Cornmeal seemed to not work at all. I mean, after a week the ants were just crawling through it, and supposedly they're supposed to take it in as food and it's going to swell in their stomachs and kill them. We saw no decrease whatsoever in the colony, so I can't recommend that one. But you can see some of the ants trying to clear out dead bodies and eggs, so we'll just keep boiling until the bed's destroyed. This is my third, I just did the third pour. And for those of you who are wondering, my wife is doing some pots on a stove, and I've done 3 to her 1. So, you know, this is actually a time efficient way of taking care of the problem, plus we're not using more electricity than we need to, and we're getting rid of some scrap wood that we needed to get rid of anyway. So, okay, again, you see piles of eggs and dead bodies moved off to the side. You know that you still have some work to do on that bed. Let's boil up another pot, keep going. All right, talk to you later. All right, there we have one thoroughly boiled out fire ant bed. Hopefully you can still see the last of the steam coming off of it there. Still got a couple of active guys in there, and hopefully we've got enough of it that it's going to kill the bed out, and those last ones will either die or move on. But as a last safety tip here, remember that a fire is not safe to leave until it's safe to touch. So this is definitely not something I want burning down my barn or my back field. So at this point, it gets a dousing with the water hose. All right, folks. Take care. We'll see you next time.